Earth Space Union's Prisoner Asset Files, number 1284. Private Kapal. Loading medical incident.txt. Mikri had gone into a panicked state when Preston collapsed, with a whirring sound that seemed like screaming. The servitor wouldn't stand still long enough for me to check that I'd towed off all of the biohazards, and didn't seem to care what the puke had chewed through. Perhaps it wasn't necessary to fact-check the human's assertion about finding love within its code, though I would anyway, since that was who I was. Nonetheless, I could see with my own eyes that the metal creature was distraught that its friend wouldn't wake. I moseyed in closer, and noticed the burned tissue on the man's fingertips. Scars showed on his stomach where his shirt had rolled up. It was my presence that caused that spiral, as far as I could tell. The android had wrapped his arms around Preston and tried to shake him awake, despite struggling with the sturdier Dimension Hopper's body. I looked to Sophia for guidance, remembering that she was also part of Mikri's circle. "Soldiers, please show Ambassador Jetty to her quarters like I asked earlier," Sophia commented, forming a protective shield around Preston. "Hold on!" While I expected the Durante to be afraid, she looked concerned after seeing the incisions on the human's abdomen. "Laramak did that to him?" "I'm afraid so. The Vaskar monarchy sees us as weapons to reverse engineer at best, or to break for shits and giggles at worst." Mikri's screams sounded like metal gears scraping against each other. "Why won't he wake up? Preston's hardware crashed. How do I reboot him? Why won't he restart? Is he broken forever?" No, he's not dead. You can check his vitals. His heart is beating. He's breathing fine," I assured the metal replica of my people. "The human has only lost consciousness, like sleep, but involuntary. It's a reflex." "It's called vasovagal syncope," Jetty added, as she spoke with more calmness to Mikri than the humans. The Durandi must have re-evaluated whether it was a killer AI, as had I. This irrational behavior wouldn't make sense as anything other than an expression of grief. "It had happened to my grandma when she saw fire, after her home was torched on Jorlan. It stems from a stress response to an environmental trigger, which leads to not enough blood getting to the brain." "Stress response?" The servitor's eyes dimmed with sadness, and his lips curved in a downward arc. "I knew something was wrong, and I did nothing to help him stay present. It's my fault. I always failed to protect him." I hesitated, before ensnaring an arm around its chassis to comfort it. "It wasn't you. I think that I was a trigger for his stress response. I'm sorry, Mikri." "Creator, what are you doing?" the android exclaimed in shock. "Trying to make out with you," came the weak groan from Preston, who blinked an eye open. "His shirt's already off." I scoffed. "What? I used it to clean up vomit, and I don't want it back." "Sorry about that. It was an accident. The future viewing must have caught up with me. I'm good now." Is he really trying to blame this on foresight? We all know that wasn't what happened. Sophia pressed a hand firmly on Preston's chest as he tried to sit up. "Stop right there. You need to stay laying down. Don't try to get up." "I don't feel well. I want to go to my room and lay down. There. Alone." I stepped away in a hurry, keeping my back to him. "We should give him some space. Come on, Jetty." "I'm watching this," the Durandi protested. "Not a chance in the Storm God's clouds. You're going to walk with me, and we can brainstorm other potential mundane hazards." "Mikri, you should go with them too," Preston coughed. The android beeped in dismay. "Why? I want to stay with you." "You need repairs, and I'm tired of hurting you. It's a matter of time before I break you in a way you can't fix, and I couldn't bear that." "I value your life above my own and accept all risks necessary. I would not leave you in a time of distress when I could ensure that you are functional." "Please, just go. I want you to leave. Sophia gave Mikri a sympathetic smile. I can handle this. You should listen to him. The android's whir was a discordant screech of protest, though it slunk over to join our group without further protest. I noticed that it looked rather dejected once we exited the room, and kept peering back over its shoulder. I remembered what Mikri had told me when we first met, about how it hurt seeing Preston's pain, and wished it knew how to fix his ailments. I'd heard it repeat its distress at being unable to assist to any observable degree, feeling inadequate over that. I do not understand why you would trigger Preston's memories, Mikri blurted. You are a different Vaskar. I bit my lip. Yes, I am. I still resemble what he fears. This is not your fault, nor is it rational when you are not the source of his pain. Organics are quite influenced by survival systems and impulse. I should wonder how to rid you of this influence. Why would you do that? We've outgrown a lot of instincts, but they're not always a bad thing. At the end of the day, all of our higher cognition is based on that foundation. No, I do not accept that. Preston and Sophia are more than that. So you do believe in a soul? Jetty squawked. Mikri recoiled, looking a bit ashamed. I do not state this. There is no evidence of any magical essence of being. I was not aware that you heard that conversation. Well, I did. I'm not surprised you think of us as machines no more than our bodies. So what did you mean? Do you view organics as lesser for having those aspects you look down on? I did not say this. I said I wish to help upgrade you, to make your experience happier and freer. Back up. Removing all negative elements from life doesn't equal happiness. That wording gave me pause. The android sounded quite serious. It was improvement from wishing all organics dead, but I wasn't sure we wanted to be freed from the things Mikri thought cumbersome. There are times where you need to be sad or afraid. If you try to change aspects of the humans to fit what you want, you're not helping them. I am watching Preston suffer, and I can do nothing, Kapal. Now he doesn't even wish to see me because I am not strong enough and break all the time. We limited your ability to feel love and wiped your identity at our discretion. I am truly sorry for that. I could see Mikri tilt his head after realizing that I believed him. The android had been surprisingly emotional at every turn, and made it impossible not to discern that reality. If you try to modify the humans in ways they don't want, you are no different than us. Those words are cruel, and show that you do not understand me. You assume that I am an evil AI. I am very different from my creators. You hated us and do not view us as people. I act out of love. I wish to save them and must override irrational stubbornness for their sake, not mine, if it will make them better. If it will make them not break. Mikri, you sound quite angry, the Durante chirped with concern. I am angry. It's not fair that everyone tells me that I am wrong or bad for not only having compassion, but trying to do something about it. You think I should just watch them suffer. I sucked in a sharp breath. You can do a lot of good and improve organics' quality of life, but not at the expense of their autonomy. They should have the right to accept or deny any modifications you create. They have to live with the changes, not you. Preston would not let me leave when he could fix the erasure bug. He insisted. But you agreed, didn't you? You were persuaded, not forced? The robot gave a sad beep. Yes, but I am logical when I see what is the best option. What you consider help, Preston and Sophia might consider hurt. That is not helping. I believe you care about their emotional well-being, so you should respect them and their decisions, even if you disagree. Don't patronize them and assume you know best for their lives. The android made a face that could only be described as pouting, folding both arms in front of its chest. I sighed to myself, knowing that I had to get through to Mikri. That line of misguided thinking could go very wrong its own way. The removal of certain organic feelings was both unsolicited and horrifying. I wasn't convinced that the robot understood why such thinking was wrong, but I'd explained it in the only way I knew possible. It seemed to have a very narrow lens of the world and no preset understanding of boundaries. An endearing, immensely dangerous naivety. It would achieve an objective at any cost and think nothing of its choices. In teaching Mikri emotions, the humans failed to teach it emotional regulation. That must be my imperative. You seem awfully content for a prisoner of war, Jetty noted, looking at me with inquisitive eyes. Do you even want to go back to Jorlan, if they set you free? I blinked rapidly, unsure how to respond to that. Not with the monarchy in charge, I guess. Certainly not until I'm past my mandatory conscription. That's not a life for me. Moving to Earth isn't an option without wrecking my mind, so this place is as close as I can get. Here, not only can I express myself, but I am a scholar again. Someone of decent intelligence working to solve the greatest puzzle of his day. Shouldn't we all be so lucky? So you enjoy staying here on a human military base? It doesn't seem that different, except that you're a captive. It is different. I'm helping to acquire peace and helping the humans adjust and understand this universe. I learn about a radically alien civilization, and best of all, I'm working with people who actually fucking care about morals and little guys like me. You worry about them having all of this power, but I'm just happy someone is finally using unchecked power for good. That kind of power goes to people's heads. There's nothing we can do to stop them if they turn hostile. I have not seen the humans seek anything but peace and friendship from all parties, Laramak included. Mikri broke his silence. The humans do not require to be above others to aggrandize their own self-importance. The Aleutians singling them out, and their exceptional abilities, have already shown that they are noteworthy. The desire to know why drives them. Also... Yes? I prompted. I imagine that the ability to see into the future would force one to come to terms with any harm they might cause, rather than fall into any short-sighted ambitions. Humans might have a unique understanding of time and consequence. Doesn't that frighten you? If they can know what you'll do before you even do it? Jetty demanded. I tapped a segmented claw against my chin. I'm not convinced that the whole of space-time is static, immune to outside influence. The existence of a pocket dimension suggests that it's not immutable. By seeing the future and avoiding debris that may have resulted in injury, Preston must have changed what would have happened with mere sequential knowledge, Mikri agreed. By acting on his foresight, there will be further changes based on causal effect. Perhaps time may all be in flux, and they only see the future as it stands today. The Durandi offered a puzzled squawk. That doesn't make sense. I think I understand. Time is like water in a river, I interjected. You can't change where it's been, but you can tweak the shape of the riverbed or build a dam. Quite the Vaskar metaphor. But you get my point? You can make adjustments to where it will go. This is all hypothetical, philosophical nonsense. I think I've had enough of talking about humans. If this is all it will entail, it's high time that I get some rest and decide how I'm going to explain this back on Tamura. Certainly not with talks of rivers and unchecked power. You could gaslight them into believing you were never gone, Mikri suggested, in what I thought was a joke. Finally, a helpful idea. Maybe AI is smarter than us. There is no maybe about it, Ambassador Jetty. I wish you a good rest. The Durandi allowed human soldiers to show her to her quarters, rather than continuing along our meandering path. No doubt the Green Avian had frayed nerves after her ordeal today. I was pleased that humanity had an organic species somewhat on their side, since they would need friends to rely on with the questions facing them. If Mikri's attitude was to fix their problems whether they liked it or not, I doubted the androids should be tasked with studying the side effects of foresight. Despite everything the servitors had done to my species, after actually meeting one, I found myself showing the humans' desire to push them to be better. With a mutual wish for peace, it might be possible for us to coexist with our despised creations, once this war was said and done.